Good morning. Welcome to Monday. Good to see you. We're going to have a good session today. I'm going to shock you. I'm going to shock you probably near the end of this training today about what ChatGPT cannot do. We've all been talking about what ChatGPT can do, but I'm going to cover the things that nobody's talking about. Nobody's discussing this stuff. And I think it's really, really important. So today I'm going to do that. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. Hit that subscribe button below. Do me a favor and ring the bell too. Wait, get my bell straight. There we go. Ring the bell. Turn on all bell notifications so you're notified each and every time I go live or if I upload a video. Chat GPT. We're all scared. Oh my God, Chat GPT is going to take over the world. It doesn't even exist. It's not an entity. So today I want to talk about it. I want you involved though. So do me a favor. Make sure you put comments, questions, suggestions, whatever in that chat box. I mean, you can just say hello and tell me what your weather is. You could do that, right? Yes, you could do that. Make sure you use that. And I know some of you may not be watching this live, and that's okay too. You can still use the comment section. I come back just about every day now and I go through all the comments, I answer any of your questions, and I get to meet you, which is really pretty cool, isn't it? I mean, we're so far away, or are we? I don't know where you are. You could be close to me. You could be down the street. I know some of my neighbors watch this. So yeah, some people are pretty darn close. But I do want to really talk about these things. I think it's really important that everybody understands that, everything has limitations. Even AI has limitations. It's not going to be able to do everything. Understand that ChatGPT is an artificial intelligence language model. Okay. It cannot do things that, you're not going to be able to hire ChatGPT to come fix your pipes in your house, right? I mean, it's not going to do that. It can't provide services. It can't experience emotions. And this is really important. This is what separates us from everything out there is that, humans have emotions, animals have emotions. As an AI language model, it doesn't have the ability to experience these things. So it doesn't really feel anything. It doesn't have any physical sensations. Okay. Now it can recognize and respond to emotions, but it can't really feel them themselves. And this is very important when, I find it when I'm writing, like if I have ChatGPT write something for me and then I write it, it's entirely different. It's entirely different because it just has the facts. Okay. I enter emotions and feelings and that type of thing when I'm writing. It also cannot understand context as well as humans can. It doesn't get it. Okay. And it's not going to get it. It's not real. Okay. Let's separate this right now. It's not real. While it's been programmed to understand natural language and interpret text, it may sometimes struggle to understand the broader context of a conversation or a particular word or phrase. See, humans, on the other hand, can use their intuition, their experience to better understand context. And what I found so far, and I've been using ChatGPT for probably well over a month now. And I found it helps me come up with ideas. It really does. It helps me come up with ideas because I can say, I don't know, maybe I'm looking for recipes for one of my canned meats, which I just was for my survival food company. And I can say in there, list 5 recipes I could make with canned meat. And it's going to come up with some recipes. Now, the recipes may not be great, but I'm going to go, oh, chicken salad. Well, chicken salad, I would put, onions, and I would put, some maybe poultry seasoning. I'd put mayo. I would put some celery in there. Then if you want to make it fancy, you could put chopped apples. I don't like that stuff in there. But I mean, what I'm saying is it gives me some ideas, something to start with. A lot of times it's hard just to get started. So I think a lot of people are going to be using it for that. As far as writing long things, I've tried to write some long things with it. It doesn't do that well. Now the next thing, it cannot make decisions. We think it can, right? But it can't. It can't make decisions without being instructed to do so. So it's just not going to do it on its own. It can analyze data. Yeah, it can do that. It can provide, I don't know, insights, maybe a little bit deeper information, but it cannot make decisions or take any actions without being programmed to do so. So your conversation with it, and one thing I would also add to this, when you're using ChatGPT, you've got to understand that it only understands what you understand. So if you've already started a conversation with it and you go back and you change the conversation to something else, you're going to get some really jarbled information. What I would suggest you do is every time you want to use ChatGPT, go up to the top and click new chat. Okay. That way it's going to just base everything on what you've recently told it. I've seen too many people using ChatGPT and they've asked it 20 different things, but they have it all in the same chat. And when they do that, ChatGPT is always referencing back everything else you told it. So you don't want to do that. Make sure you don't do that. If you do that, you're going to get some really wonky information, some stuff that's not going to make sense. Let me get a sip here real quick. I was trying to use it for writing some product descriptions that I have online, and it was awful. It was really awful at it. It was very chunky and clunky, and I didn't like what it wrote. So I'm writing them all myself. But I tried it. I tried it for that, and maybe on down the road it'll be better. The responses from ChatGPT are really solely based on the data and instructions that it has been given. So the better the instructions that you give it, the better off you are. Now I have ChatGPT on my computer, but I downloaded, let me see if I can find it real quick. This is pretty interesting stuff. I downloaded a secondary part to it, and it's like an extension. In fact, it is an extension. And I see if I can find it here for you. Yeah, it's called AIPRM, AIPRM. And if you search that, you can download that extension. What it does is it gives you some templates to work with. So, if you don't have any idea where to start, you can use one of these templates. And every time you click new chat, it will upload some templates. Let me see if I can do this real quick. And I will show it with you. Let's see here. Can I share my screen here? I think I can. AIPRM is what it is. Let me go over and share my screen real quick, guys. And I want you to see this, because if you add this to your ChatGPT, it's going to be really helpful to you, because they're all pre-written and sometimes it's difficult to understand how to write this stuff. So let me get over here and I'm going to present. And I think I want my entire screen, and let me know, let me see, select screen. I'm going to use entire screen. Okay. And I'm going to allow, let me click here and allow, and I want to make sure you can see my screen first on here. Okay. So you can see my screen first. That's cool. So what I want to do is I want to go over here, and I have ChatGPT pulled up, and here it is. So this is AIPRM, and this is what I would suggest that you add to your ChatGPT. It's free. It's just an extension. So when you first start a new chat, I can just click new chat here, and you can see all these different chats I'm doing. But as you scroll down here, it says, okay, outrank article. Now this one here is no good. And the reason it's no good is because it's going to ask you for a URL where the article is located, which is fine. But the problem is it is not connected to the internet. Did you know that? It's not connected to the internet. So it's going to try to outrank your article just based on the URL or just the name of the article. So it's not going to be able to do it. It's just not going to be able to do it. This one here is fully SEO optimized article, including FAQs. I haven't tried this one, but it looks like it could work. This is a keyword strategy here. This is to rewrite an article with keyword rich content. So that may work. I don't know. I haven't used it. E-commerce SEO, generate enticing product descriptions. It's another one you could use. Like I said, I tried to use it for some of these. It didn't make kind of like the kind of sense that I want. I want people to emotionally connect with my product. Audit existing content for SEO. That may work, but you would have to put in your content, I'm sure. What else has it got down here? It's got outline for blog articles. That may be helpful to you, because that's one of those things where it's going to get you started. And sometimes you need that. better content outlines, YouTube tag generator with keywords. I use TubeBuddy. I have no need for that reason. So I don't use that. And let me just get up here. I'm going to scroll with my fingers. SEO, article writer, silo structure. I don't know anything about that stuff, so I'm not going to get involved in it. Get 15, SEO optimized, Google business posts. I don't know, have to try it. And then if you look here, guys, there's 268 more. So that's pretty interesting stuff. You got to get in there, try it out. They have all kinds of different stuff in there. Let me stop sharing my screen here real quick. Okay, so I'm back to normal. I hope I'm back to normal here. Okay, yes, I'm back to normal. But that's that little extension that I put on mine that you may want to add to yours. It's pretty cool. It works. You know, the results is really, I guess the results are still being determined if it's going to be good or not. Next thing, it cannot have human-like conversations. Now you're going to argue this one. You're going to say, well, yeah, I went in there and we were talking back and forth. It's not human-like. What it's been designed to understand and respond to is natural language. So it's still limited in its ability to engage in human-like conversations. It could struggle to keep up with the nuances of language and cultural references that are familiar to humans. And there's been some blocks put in there too. You know, things about sex or, you know, racial things or whatever. So there's blocks in there. So certain things it's not going to get. It's not going to understand it, or it may interpret it, what you've said, as something that should be blocked, even though it shouldn't, because it doesn't know any better. So that's something else it can't do. Now, there are a lot of things it can do, but let's continue on with what it can do. I've given you 4 things already. Okay. I've told you it does not understand emotions. It does not understand context. It can't make decisions, and it can't have human-like conversations. So it can't do those things. Let's see what else it can't do here. I have a list of all the ones I've listed that I've figured out. Okay. Maybe you figured out more things it can't do. It cannot recognize visual or non-textual information. So if you were to have a picture or a drawing or something like that, it's not going to get it. It's not going to see it the way you do. While it can process text, it cannot recognize or interpret any visual information, such as images, videos, or any non-textual information, such as audio or tactile feedback. It can't do it. Okay. First off, it is artificial intelligence. It's not our intelligence. Don't worry about that. Will it take out a lot of jobs? Absolutely it will, because it can churn out data real quick, which is something, you know, humans are going to be slower at. However, with all these other limitations, guys, you can use this to your advantage if you want. Next thing, that was number 6, by the way. I think we're up to number 6 now. And guys, put some comments in there, put some suggestions, because if I run through this information and I get through it faster than I want to sometimes, then I'm not going to extend this. I'm not going to talk longer than I need to talk today. I'm just going to talk long enough to get out the information I can, and I'm not going to add anything to it. So, you know, I've got like these 10 steps here. Once I go through these 10 steps, I'm done. I'm done, unless you ask me some questions and keep the conversation going. So it cannot understand or have personal or emotional connections with individuals. So your dog or cat may recognize you and go, oh my gosh, he's home or she's home, and I love them so much, and they feed me and they do all these things for me. Artificial intelligence will never do that. Okay. It can never understand this human connection. It can recognize and remember individuals based on unique identifiers. Okay. So it's going to know, you know, you're person 1 or person 2 or person 3 or person 4, but it cannot form any personal or emotional connections with you ever. It's never going to happen. I think there was a movie about that where this guy fell in love with this female AI, and they actually fell in love, which it cannot do. Okay. That's all a pipe dream. It's not going to happen. Now they can interact with individuals purely based on data and information available to them or to it. Do we call it a it? Is it a he, she, him thing? Well, I don't know what it is. Do we label it? Maybe we don't even label it. I don't know, but it can't do that. So you're never going to have that, you know, human connection. There's no way anybody's ever come up with really good human connection, and AI isn't going to do it, hasn't done it. and probably never will do it. I don't think. I don't know how you could do that. I don't know how you could build that into anything. It just seems impossible. If you think you know of one, put it on the screen there, put it in that chat box there, or put it in the comments if you aren't watching this live. So that's number 7. Can't do that. Number 8, it cannot provide any medical or legal advice. Now, that having been said, you could put in, these are the symptoms. What are some possibilities? I want a rental contract for a house on these dates, and they're going to pay this amount of money. Write me a rental contract. It can do it, but it can't give you legal advice. Okay. It can't give you medical advice. It can't do those things. It can provide general information about various topics. So it kind of seems like legal advice, but it really isn't. Okay. It's not a licensed medical or legal professional, and it won't be. Although it has access to all the medical and legal stuff out there up through 2021. Okay, that's what they're telling us. They're saying, hey, we gave it the entire internet through 2021. And therefore, it's got this information, but it cannot provide medical or legal advice or make any diagnoses. Now, what's interesting is if you go to the internet, and this is number 8 we're talking about now. If you go to the internet, you could type in your symptoms and it may pull back some type of diagnosis for you. However, artificial intelligence cannot do that. Doesn't have that ability to do that. Let me get another sip here real quick. And I've got back-to-back meetings today. So if we finish a little bit earlier today, that's okay. I'm not offended if we do that. I've got more on my plate today than I could probably chew. But it's nice to have it there. It's interesting. All right. Next thing it can't do. It cannot guarantee the accuracy. What? Yeah. It could give you stuff that is inaccurate. It could give you stuff that's wrong. It could lead you in the wrong direction and you won't know it. So I'm going to suggest that you take whatever information it gives you and, check and find out if that is really reliable information. The reliability of its responses, it can really be wonky. I've already seen it. While it strives to provide the most accurate, I say strive, it's not striving at all. It's just doing what it's doing. But it's trying to give you the most accurate stuff, and it's trying to learn, and it is learning, and it's going to improve. It cannot do anything without being trained or given feedback by humans. So if you tell it, oh, what you gave me is perfect, it's going to think what it did think. It's going to assume, I don't know, what do you use when you're talking about artificial intelligence? It's going to continue on that path. It's going to say, hey, I got the feedback that this was good, so this must be good and it must be accurate information. Even if it's inaccurate, it will think it's accurate. The responses are only as accurate as the data and information available to ChatGPT, which is only programmed through 2021. Keep that in mind. It's already 2 years old. And the last thing on here, and I also, before we end today, I do want to go through why people should not be afraid of ChatGPT. Okay, this is really important stuff. And I'm going to list them for you. I'm going to give that to you in just a second. Okay, I don't want to get ahead of myself. It cannot learn to improve without being trained. So it's not going to just go, hey, I think I'd like to learn some more stuff. It's not going to do that. It has to be trained. It has been designed to continually learn and improve, but it can't do so without being trained and given feedback by humans. So if no feedback comes from whatever it puts out, it's no smarter than it was. Its learning and improvement are dependent on the quality and quantity of the data and feedback that it receives. So if it doesn't get good stuff, it can't put out better stuff. It's not possible. Now, I want to take a moment and at the end of this here and tell you why you really shouldn't be afraid of it. Firstly, ChatGPT, what it is a language model that has been designed to help people find information, answer questions, and engage in natural language conversation. Its primary purpose is to assist and support humans in their day-to-day activities. So it's not a real entity, guys. It's not. It's just AI. That's all it is. And we're slowly learning. I think all of us out there are going, what is AI? What does it do? Let me get another sip here. It also does not have any physical presence. It doesn't exist anywhere. You're not going to be able to see it, touch it, feel it. Okay. So it cannot cause any physical harm to humans. It is a digital entity that exists solely in a digital realm. Okay. It is no, you can't touch, you can't see it, you can't feel it. It's not there. The next thing I'll tell you is ChatGPT has been programmed to be helpful and respectful towards humans. It doesn't have any inherent biases. They say this, but a human program it, so it has to. And I pulled up this information. It says it doesn't have any prejudices or emotions that could lead to discriminatory or harmful behavior towards individual. And this is what it says, because I actually got some of this information from ChatGPT, but I'm going to take, I don't know. I'm going to disagree with this a little bit because it's been programmed by humans. So I think it's got to have some type of prejudices. I think so. The last thing is ChatGPT is constantly being monitored and reviewed by its developers. So there are humans that are involved in this. Okay. They're trying to ensure that it operates within ethical and legal boundaries. Whoa, I wouldn't want that job. I don't think I'd want that job. Okay. But it is supposedly designed to comply with all applicable laws, regulations, and ethical standards. So that is what it's programmed to do. It doesn't mean it's going to do it. So don't assume that everything you're getting from ChatGPT is accurate, legally bound, good stuff, because that doesn't mean that. Okay, it just means that's how they tried to program it. So people should not be afraid of ChatGPT. I will tell you that it is a total tool designed to assist and support humans and operates within ethical and legal boundaries, supposedly. While it does have certain limitations and drawbacks, it can be a valuable resource for individuals seeking information or engaging in natural language. So I think we all have to look at this and go, how can I use this in my everyday life? How can it assist me in everyday life? I usually keep it open. And when I'm trying to brainstorm or come up with ideas or something, I'll go over to ChatGPT and I'll put something in there. I may say, there's so many tools I use though. Like I use Answer the Public a lot. Answer the Public. And if you haven't used Answer the Public, let me put this in the chat box here. Go to Answer the Public. Go to Answer the Public. It's not going to do it. This is AI for you. Okay. Well, it's just Answer the Public. I can't reach over and type. My keyboard's too far away. But what Answer the Public does is it's going to give you questions that people are asking about a particular topic on the internet. So I could put in ChatGPT, and one of the topics people were asking about is, should I be scared of it? So I said, well, maybe that would be a good video. So then I had to research, why are the people scared of it? What are the reasons they shouldn't be scared of it? And that's how I came up with this training today. So it actually assisted me in writing this training today for you guys. Now that's pretty wild, right? So I went to the source and asked it why people shouldn't be afraid of it. And it gave me some answers why people shouldn't be afraid of it. Did I agree with all of them? Absolutely not. I didn't talk about some of the ones I didn't agree with. And some of them are on the fringe, where it says it has no biases, where it says it has no prejudices. I think it does. And I think it does because, humans wrote it. And if humans wrote it, they themselves have biases, right? Every human does. There's no human that's ever been born that has zero biases. It just doesn't exist. And those biases can come because of how you were brought up, what you've learned, your experiences in life, how you've been treated, all kinds of things. So we all have them. So I would assume that ChatGPT has them also. I've never met anybody that doesn't have biases. Never did. But I think it's a great tool. I think a lot of people are going to use it sloppily. I think a lot of people are now going to where people are getting like blogs written and stuff, and they're writing blogs for them. The blogs aren't very good, and they never will be, because you don't have the emotions. I don't know how you could ever instill emotions and empathy and love and hatred or whatever it is that you have into a digital entity. Okay, because it's just digital. I don't think you can ever do that. Only thing you can do is program it to where it it thinks certain things are accurate. That's it. That's all you can really do with it. So don't worry about it. Will it take out some jobs? Absolutely. If you are concerned about it taking out your job, I would suggest that you see how you can actually use it. You can actually ask ChatGPT, say, hey, this is my job. This is what I do. Can you do these things too? And it's going to let you know if it can do it too. And if it can, maybe, like I know a company right now that was writing like 5 or 10 blogs a day, and they're using ChatGPT to write 10,000 blogs a day. Okay. So they've kind of said, hey, it's going to take out my job. Why don't I just use it to do this? Now you're going to say to yourself, well, if this company was charging people to write blogs and they're just using ChatGPT to now write the blogs, why don't those people just go directly to ChatGPT? Well, not everybody embraces technology. Not everybody embraces technology. We have people that call up our company right now to this day and say, I want to order with you on the telephone because I don't want to put my credit card in online. I have no way of explaining to them that that's exactly what we do. We pull up our, order sheets or whatever, and we put their credit card in online. That's the only way to do it. Okay. We don't call up the credit card company and read off the phone number. Read off the credit card number. We have to put it in online. So some people don't embrace technology. So yeah, some people are going to use ChatGPT, and the person paying them could have just used it themselves, but they're not going to do it. They're not going to do it because they aren't embracing technology. You are smart. You are here today. You are listening today about how to embrace technology, about how to make this stuff work. And for those of you who came in late, I do want to do like a summary of all the things that ChatGPT cannot do. And there's more. Don't think this is all there are, but there are more. And the first one I told you was that ChatGPT can't experience emotions or feelings. Okay. It's not human. It can't do that. It can't understand context. Okay. And context is very important for humans when we're conversing. So it cannot do that. It cannot make any decisions without being instructed to make a decision. It just won't do it on its own. It won't. You have to ask it to. It cannot be engaged in like a human type conversation. It's been designed to understand and respond natural language, but not human-like. It's still not human-like, and it's not going to be, I don't think. It cannot recognize any type of visual cues. It's like pictures, images, videos, any of that stuff. It cannot experience any physical sensations or interact in the physical world because it's not physical. Okay. It's just a digital AI. So, it can't touch, feel, smell, hear, any of that. None of that happens with ChatGPT. It cannot have any personal or emotional connection with you because it's not a human. Okay. So it's not going to go, oh my gosh, I'm so excited JR is here, but I didn't like that guy that was here yesterday. No, it can't do that. So don't worry about it. It can't do that. It cannot provide medical or legal advice because it's programmed not to. That could be very dangerous. Don't be asking, ChatGPT, say, hey, I've got this mole and it looks like this. Do you think it's cancer? Don't be doing that because it can't understand any of that. The images, the diagnosis, and I don't even think it'll give you one. I think it'll default to, I can't give you medical advice. It can write contracts, but that's not legal advice. That's just doing what you told it to do. And number 9 is a big one for those of you who weren't here. Number 9 is it's wrong sometimes. It's just plain wrong because, it's only based on what you've given it. So you need to check the information. And it can't learn or improve without being trained. So if you were to leave it alone today and come back 10 years later, it's not going to be any smarter than it was today. However, in that 10-year period, if a lot of people entered a lot of information, based on that information and the feedback it got from the information of you saying, yeah, that's great, that looks good. It says, oh, that's good. This information I gave out is good. So I'm going to give out more information like that. Yes, it can do that. But for the most part, guys, don't be scared. Learn how to embrace these new technologies. I got a couple comments. Let me stick them up on the screen here real quick before I leave. It says here, good morning. There is an 1.5-hour video on YouTube that shows the world in different shifts and does a great job in predicting future shifts. Have you seen it? Peter Zellen's predictions. No, I have not. I have not, Richard. I don't even know who Peter Zellhans is. But you can't know everybody. I think it's so funny. The other day, I was having lunch with somebody, a friend of mine, and they're involved with, all kinds of different digital things online. We're having this conversation, and he was saying, yeah, well, this person does it, this person, and I had dinner with this person, and then this person also does it, this other person, and he listed like 5 or 6 people. And I just looked at him and I said, no offense. I said, I have no idea of any of those people you just listed. I don't know any of them. He goes, really? Well, this person is really big in this, and this person's big in this. And I'm like, I can't know everything. Okay. So every now and then, if somebody's, trying to reference something, and well, like I just did, Richard, if they're trying to reference something, I'm going to be honest. I can't know everything. It doesn't mean that Peter Zellum isn't like one of the smartest people in the world. Okay. I don't know him. Okay. I just don't know him. I try to learn all these people, and I will probably go check that out, Richard. I'd like to see that. And I like predictions. I think they're interesting. I found most of them don't pan out, even if they're super smart people, especially the psychics. They will come up with, a million different predictions. And then the one that is, true, they're going to toot that horn constantly. But, I mean, I don't want to pick on anybody, but the Kramer guy, never called that big recession in 2008. He totally missed it. And he's supposed to be this expert, and yet people still listen to him. Okay. And maybe he has some good advice, but predictions, they're a tough one. There's so many variables that go into it. And when I first messed around with ChatGPT, I was talking to it about the war in Ukraine and what it thought about all that. And it didn't think anything about it. It could give you predictions if you put in how many tanks and, how many missiles and how many airplanes and all that, but it can't understand the will of the Ukrainian people or the lack of will of the prisoners that are fighting on Russia's side. It can't get that. So the predictions are, for AI, I don't think it's that good. Anyhow, that was our session today, guys. I really appreciate you being here. I appreciate you participating. If you are not watching this live, don't forget to subscribe. Hit that subscribe button, turn it from red to gray. Don't forget to ring the bell, turn on all bell notifications so you're notified each and every time I go live, or if I upload a new video. I will be live Monday, Wednesday, Friday of this week, and I'll have new videos coming out on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. We have a new editing style that started on the 21st. So if you would check out that video that I uploaded on the 21st, let me know what you think of the editing style. Let me know what you think of it. We put a lot of work into that. I mean, a lot of work, like hours and hours and hours into a 10-minute video. But you'll see why when you go there. You may not understand why it took so long unless you edit videos. If you edit videos, you'll get it. If you don't edit videos, you won't get it. It's just too difficult. Starbucks coffee. Thanks, JR. Great as usual. I appreciate that so much. That's very, very kind of you. Love each and every one of you, and I will see you again on Wednesday. Don't forget to check out my upload for tomorrow on Tuesday. It will be there, and I appreciate each and every one of you. You've built this channel. We're at 200 subscribers at this point, working our way to 10,000, then 100,000, then 1 million. And that's where I want to get to. I'd like to have 1 million. Yeah, I would. Okay. I think that would be great if we could do that. You're the only ones that can help me get there. Make sure you share this stuff, like it. The thumbs up thing matters a lot, as silly as that sounds. It really does. But share it, like it, comment. That'll help a whole lot. You guys have a great day, and I will see you on Wednesday.